Ever wanted to be a time traveler? Well, forget about building a DeLorean or finding a wormhole. All you actually need is a plane ticket, or in some cases, just a very long pair of legs to jump over a border. Time is one of the weirdest things we've ever invented, and today we're settling a massive debate that's probably ended a few friendships at trivia night. Which country on this giant blue marble actually has the most time zones? If you're thinking of the massive, sprawling land masses of Russia or the United States, you're on the right track, but you might be dead wrong. The real answer is a total curveball that proves size isn't everything. Welcome to Whale Facts, where we dive deep into the truths that make you look like the smartest person in the room. Let's get chronological. Now, let's talk about the heavy hitters. If we were playing a game of who has the most contiguous land, Russia would be the undisputed final boss. This absolute unit of a country covers over 17 million square kilometers. To put that in perspective, if you hopped on the Trans-Siberian Railway in Moscow and headed to Vladivostok, you'd spend a literal week on a train and have to reset your watch 11 times. 11! You'd arrive with a level of jet lag that scientists haven't even named yet, and you never even left the ground. But wait, here comes the United States sliding into the DMs with its own set of complications. Most people think the US is just the big 48 plus Alaska and Hawaii. If that were true, we'd only have 6 time zones. But the US is like that person who keeps adding "and one more thing" to a story. Thanks to territories like Puerto Rico, Guam, American Samoa, and the US Virgin Islands, the United States technically clocks in with 11 time zones as well. Imagine this. While a beachgoer in the Virgin Islands is watching the sunrise over the Atlantic, a fisherman in American Samoa is just finishing their dinner yesterday. Yes, the US spans so far that it literally exists in 2 different calendar days at the same time. It's chaotic, it's confusing, and it makes scheduling a Zoom call an absolute nightmare. But even with 11 zones each, neither Russia nor the US takes home the gold medal. To find our champion, we have to look past the giant land masses and find the country that's basically a global jigsaw puzzle. Before we reveal the champion, we have to talk about the absolute rebel of the group, China. Geographically, China is massive, roughly the same size as the continental United States. If it followed the rules of logic and geography, it should have at least 5 different time zones. But in 1949, the government decided that having 5 different times was a bit too much paperwork. Their solution? Everyone follows Beijing time, period. This creates some of the most surreal daily routines on the planet. In the westernmost province of Xinjiang, the sun doesn't realize it's supposed to obey the government. When the clock says it's 8 a.m. in Beijing, it's still pitch black in the west. To compensate, locals have developed an unofficial Xinjiang time that's 2 hours behind. Imagine the chaos. You have a doctor's appointment at 10 a.m. government time, but your lunch date is at 10 a.m. local time. If you get them mixed up, you're either 2 hours early or 2 hours late for everything. In the summer, people in Western China can be seen eating dinner and hanging out at outdoor markets while the sun is still high in the sky at midnight. It's like living in a permanent state of, wait, what time is it actually? It's the ultimate one-size-fits-all policy that actually fits almost nobody. But hey, it definitely makes planning a national TV broadcast a whole lot easier. All right, it's time for the big reveal. The country with the most time zones isn't the vast frozen tundra of Russia or the sprawling plains of America. The winner, with a staggering 12 time zones, is France. Wait, France? That little hexagon in Europe? You could drive across the main part of France in about the time it takes to watch a Lord of the Rings marathon. So how is this possible? The secret lies in the phrase, "The sun never sets on the French Republic." You see, France isn't just that beautiful piece of land in Europe with the Eiffel Tower and Great Bread. Because of its colonial history, France still holds on to various territories scattered across every single ocean on Earth. These are known as Drôme Seacom, and they are the reason France is the king of the clock. Let's take a quick trip around the world. When it's noon in Paris, it's early morning in French Guiana in South America and the Caribbean islands of Guadeloupe and Martinique. keep heading west, and you hit French Polynesia in the middle of the Pacific, which is practically on the other side of the day. But we're not done. Head east from Paris and you'll find Reunion Island and Mayotte in the Indian Ocean, followed by New Caledonia and Wallis and Futuna back in the Pacific. Technically, if you count France's claim in Antarctica, Adélie Land, the number even jumps to 13. Because these territories are spread so perfectly around the globe, France covers almost every hour of the day simultaneously. It is the ultimate flex of global reach. While the Russian bear is sleeping and the American eagle is just waking up, France is somehow doing both at the same time. If you ever want to stay in one country but experience every possible time of day, pack your bags for the French territories. Just make sure you bring a lot of different watches. Think time zones only come in neat 1-hour increments? Think again. Some countries looked at a standard clock and said, nah, that's way too simple. Take India, for example. Instead of picking one of the 2 time zones its land actually covers, the government decided to split the difference. India runs on UTC plus 5:30. That's right, a half-hour offset. It's the national equivalent of being that one friend who always insists on being fashionably late by exactly 30 minutes. But then there's Nepal. Nepal saw India's 30-minute offset and said, hold my lassie. To maintain their independence and stand out from their massive neighbor, Nepal set their clocks to UTC plus 5:45. Yes, a 45-minute offset. They are literally 15 minutes ahead of India just to prove a point. It's the ultimate geographical flex. And if you want to be the first person on the planet to see the sunrise, you'll need to visit the island nation of Kiribati. They used to be split right down the middle by the international dateline, meaning half the country was in today while the other was in yesterday. In 1995, they simply bent the dateline to wrap around their islands. Now they operate on UTC plus 14, the furthest ahead any clock goes. Finally, we have Antarctica. Because all lines of longitude meet at the South Pole, you could technically walk through all 24 time zones in about 30 seconds. To avoid total madness, scientists there usually just stick to the time zone of the country that sends them their supplies. If your mail and snacks are coming from New Zealand, you live on New Zealand time. It's the only place on Earth where your schedule is determined by your grocery delivery. So, there you have it. Russia is a land giant with 11 zones, China is a one-clock rebel, and France is the surprise champion of the world with 12 different ways to tell the time. It turns out that time isn't just about physics, it's about history, politics, and occasionally just wanting to be 15 minutes different from your neighbors. If this video just messed with your internal clock, do us a favor, hit that like button and share this with that one friend who is always late. Maybe they're just living in the wrong time zone. Don't forget to subscribe to Whale Facts for more mind-blowing deep dives into the weirdest parts of our world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.